Dr. Elena Santos stood at the bow of the research vessel Northern Star, her dark eyes fixed on the choppy Pacific waters. The oceanic research mission had started like any other, investigating unusual deep-sea thermal readings. But for the past 3 days, something else had been keeping her awake at night. A signal, unlike anything ever recorded, pulsing from the ocean floor. Dr. Santos, Sarah Chen, her lead researcher, burst through the cabin door. The signal's intensity just spiked by 300%. Whatever's down there, it's responding to us. Elena rushed to the monitoring station, her heart pounding. The holographic display showed a complex waveform that seemed to defy known physics. "This can't be natural," she muttered, adjusting the sensors. "The pattern's too precise, too—" She paused, realization dawning. Too engineered. The ship's AI chimed in, its neutral tone contrasting with the gravity of its words. "Dr. Santos. Analysis complete. The signal contains embedded quantum signatures matching elements found in human DNA." The research team fell silent. Elena's mind raced with implications. She'd spent her career studying deep-sea anomalies, but this was different. This wasn't just a discovery. It felt like an invitation. "Captain Morrison." Elena called over the ship's comm. "We need to deploy the Nautilus." The advanced deep-sea exploration vehicle was their only hope of reaching the signal's source, nearly 4 kilometers below the surface. Hours later, Elena sat in the Nautilus's pilot seat, descending into the abyss. The vessel's quantum sensors painted a 3-dimensional map of their surroundings, revealing a seafloor landscape that seemed impossibly geometric. "These formations," Sarah's voice crackled through the comm, "they're artificial. The mineral composition dates them at over 3 million years old, but the engineering, it's beyond anything in human history." As they approached the signal source, the ocean floor began to change. Ancient stone gave way to a material that seemed to drink in their lights, its surface rippling like liquid metal, despite being solid. "My God," Elena whispered as their lights illuminated a massive structure, seamlessly integrated into the bedrock. It was a facility, but its architecture defied description. Curves and angles that seemed to exist in more dimensions than the human mind could process. The signal led them to what appeared to be an entrance, its surface marked with patterns that made Elena's head spin. As the Nautilus drew closer, the patterns began to shift, forming into something recognizable. A double helix. "It's DNA," Sarah gasped over the comm. "Human DNA." Before Elena could respond, the structure pulsed with light. A voice, neither male nor female, echoed through their minds rather than their ears. Genetic profile confirmed. "Welcome, children of our legacy." The entrance dissolved like smoke, revealing a docking chamber that seemed designed specifically for their vessel. Elena's hands trembled on the controls, but her voice was steady as she addressed her team aboard the Northern Star. "Send word to the Global Science Council. Tell them." She paused, watching as ancient systems awakened around them. "Tell them we just found out we're not alone in the universe, and more importantly, we were expected." Inside the facility, each step revealed new wonders. Holographic displays sprang to life, showing star maps and genetic sequences that made their most advanced technology look primitive by comparison. But it was the central chamber that took their breath away. A massive hologram filled the space, showing beings that seemed both alien and familiar. Their forms shifted and flowed, but their message was clear. Humanity had been engineered, not just for survival, but for a purpose. 3 million years ago, the facility's AI translated, "Our civilization faced an enemy that threatened not just life, but reality itself. We knew we couldn't survive, but we could create those who could. We chose Earth, seeded it with the building blocks of life, and encoded within your species the potential to become something more. That potential now awakens because the enemy approaches once again." Elena watched as the hologram showed a wave of darkness spreading across the galaxy, consuming everything in its path. The depth of what they'd discovered, what they'd been created for, was overwhelming. We're not just another species discovering our alien origins, she realized, speaking to her awestruck team. We're an arsenal that's been waiting to be activated. And whatever's coming, it's about to find out why. As if in response, deep space monitoring stations around the world began detecting anomalies at the edge of the solar system. Humanity's test was about to begin, and the ancient facility beneath the Pacific would prove to be just the beginning of their awakening. 2 weeks after the Pacific discovery, Dr. Elena Santos stood in the newly established Global Defense Command Center, watching as another deep space sensor went dark. The unknown force at the edge of the solar system was moving closer, systematically erasing everything in its path. Pluto's station just went silent. Commander David Chen announced, his weathered face illuminated by holographic displays. Whatever's out there, it's not just destroying our outposts. It's removing them from existence. No debris, no energy signatures, just nothing. Elena studied the ancient facility's data streaming across her neural interface. They're called the Void Hunters, she explained, translating the information in real time. They don't just consume matter and energy. They erase possibilities. Each attack removes not just what is, but what could have been. The command center's AI projected a simulation of the approaching threat. The visualization showed reality itself unraveling around the Void Hunters' vessels, probability collapsing into singular points of absolute entropy. The genetic markers we discovered in the facility, Dr. James Wilson, their lead geneticist, interjected. They're not just random sequences. They're like dormant programs, waiting to be activated. But we've only found them in about 1 in every million humans. Elena nodded, remembering how the facility had reacted to her own DNA. The creators didn't have time to engineer the changes into our entire species. Instead, they seeded these markers throughout the population, designed to activate when needed. The room fell silent as new data poured in. The Void Hunters had reached Saturn's orbit, their impossible ships phasing in and out of reality itself. Earth had less than a week. We've identified 57 individuals worldwide with the complete marker sequence, James reported. The facility's activation chamber is ready, but he hesitated. We have no idea what it will do to them. Elena touched the strange symbol now etched into her palm, a side effect of her own transformation 3 days ago. The facility had changed her, awakened something that let her see beyond normal space-time. Each probability stream was now visible to her, like threads in an infinite tapestry. "Show them," she commanded. The air around her shimmered as she demonstrated her new abilities, freezing a falling cup of coffee in midair by stabilizing its probability field. This is just the beginning of what we can do. The next 72 hours were a blur of activity. As the Void Hunters approached Jupiter, the first group of genetically compatible humans entered the facility's transformation chambers. Each emergence brought new wonders and terrors. Captain Sarah Martinez stepped out wreathed in quantum fire, able to exist in multiple probability states simultaneously. Dr. Kai Chen could now manipulate the fundamental forces of reality, though the power threatened to tear him apart. Each transformed individual manifested different abilities, as if the creators had designed humanity to be an arsenal of unique weapons. But it was the children that proved most surprising. 16-year-old Maya Patel, brought to the facility because of her genetic markers, emerged with the ability to communicate with the ancient systems in ways even Elena couldn't comprehend. "They didn't just give us powers," Maya explained, her eyes glowing with inherited knowledge. "They gave us their understanding. Each of us carries a piece of their consciousness, their memories, their hope." The facility's AI confirmed Maya's insight. The creators hadn't just engineered weapons. They'd hidden their legacy within human DNA, waiting for the moment when Earth would need to stand against the darkness that had consumed their own civilization. As the transformed humans learned to control their new abilities, Elena discovered something the creators might not have intended. The awakened humans weren't just accessing predetermined powers. They were innovating, combining their abilities in ways the facility's data suggested were impossible. The creators designed us as weapons, Elena addressed the gathered transformed, watching as they practiced their newfound abilities. But they gave us something they didn't expect us to use: human creativity. We're not just following their program, we're exceeding it. A massive tremor shook the facility. Above, the first Void Hunter scouts had entered Mars orbit. Their very presence caused reality to fray, probability collapsing into entropy wherever they passed. "They're testing our defenses," Commander Chen observed, watching through quantum-enhanced sensors, looking for weaknesses. Elena gathered the transformed humans, now numbering just over 40. Each face showed the same determination, the same understanding of what was at stake. They had been created as humanity's last line of defense, but they had become something more. The next step in human evolution. "The Void Hunters think they're facing weapons," Elena declared, her voice carrying through both physical space and probability fields. "Let's show them they're facing something they've never encountered before: human beings who refuse to accept the impossible." As if in response, the facility's systems pulsed with new energy. The creators had given humanity the tools to fight, but how they used them, that would be their own choice. The real test was about to begin. The Martian sky rippled like water as the first major Void Hunter assault began. Reality itself seemed to tear apart as their ships phased into normal space, each vessel existing in multiple states simultaneously. Earth's conventional defenses passed harmlessly through them, weapons fire dispersing into probability clouds that did no damage. In the ancient facility's command center, Dr. Elena Santos watched through her enhanced senses as the battle unfolded. Beside her, 16-year-old Maya Patel interfaced directly with the facility's systems. Her consciousness expanded far beyond normal human limits. "They're not just attacking Mars," Maya reported, her voice carrying harmonics that made the air vibrate. "They're erasing its timeline, removing every possibility of its existence." Elena nodded, watching probability streams collapse around the red planet. "Then it's time. Launch Operation Firewall." The transformed humans had trained for this moment, learning to combine their abilities in ways the facility's creators had never imagined. Captain Sarah Martinez led the first wave, her quantum-duplicated forms piloting advanced ships the facility had provided. Each vessel carried a crew of transformed humans, their combined powers creating effects that defied physics itself. Dr. Kai Chen stood at the helm of the lead ship, his control over fundamental forces allowing him to stabilize reality around their fleet. "Multiple probability signatures detected," he announced, his eyes glowing with power. "They're trying to phase through our defenses." "Not this time," Sarah responded, her duplicate speaking in perfect harmony. Her squadron split into 5 identical groups, each one attacking from a different probability state. The Void Hunters, faced with an enemy that could match their own reality-shifting abilities, showed the first signs of confusion. On Earth, Commander Chen coordinated the global response. The remaining transformed humans had been distributed to key locations, their powers helping to stabilize reality as the Void Hunters' influence began to reach the planet. "They're adapting," Elena observed, watching the enemy's tactics shift. "But so are we." She reached out with her probability manipulation abilities, creating anchor points in spacetime that forced the Void Hunters to remain in single states, making them vulnerable to conventional weapons. The battle for Mars became a dance of impossible physics and human determination. Each transformed individual contributed their unique abilities to a strategy that evolved moment by moment. Maya's connection to the facility revealed new capabilities in their arsenal, while Elena's power to stabilize probability gave Earth's military the openings they needed. But the Void Hunters were ancient and experienced. A massive ship, larger than the others, phased into existence near Phobos. Its presence caused such severe reality distortions that even the transformed humans struggled to maintain their powers. "Something's wrong," Maya suddenly called out, her connection to the facility's systems revealing new information. "They're not just trying to erase Mars. They're using it as a focal point to collapse all local spacetime. If they succeed, Earth's timeline would be erased. Elena finished, understanding the true scale of the threat. Every possibility, every potential future, gone. The transformed humans faced their first real test. The facility had given them powers, but now they needed something more: innovation. Elena watched as her fellow transformed began to coordinate in ways the creators had never planned for. Sarah's quantum duplicates synchronized with Kai's force manipulation, creating stable zones in reality where the Void Hunters couldn't phase. Other transformed humans combined their abilities in unique ways, each combination producing effects that surprised even the facility's ancient eye. The creators designed us to fight. Elena broadcasted to all transformed humans, but they couldn't design our creativity, our ability to adapt. That's purely human. The massive Void Hunter ship began its final attack, reality wearing thin around Mars. But humanity's response wasn't just tactical, it was innovative. Maya, pushing her connection to the facility to its limits, unlocked new systems that even the creators had never used. They left us their knowledge, she explained. Her consciousness spread across the facility's network, but they couldn't predict how we'd use it. We're not just their weapons anymore. We're something new. The transformed humans coordinated their assault on the massive ship, each using their powers in ways that defied the facility's predictions. Sarah's duplicates operated in perfect harmony with Kai's force manipulation, while other transformed humans created effects that the Void Hunters had never encountered. As the battle reached its climax, Elena realized something fundamental about their nature. The creators had designed them as weapons, but humanity's greatest strength wasn't in the powers they'd been given. It was in their ability to imagine new possibilities, to find solutions that even their creators hadn't conceived. The Void Hunters, faced with an enemy that could not only match their reality-shifting abilities, but innovate beyond them, began to retreat. Their massive ship, damaged by combinations of powers it had never encountered, phased away into probability space. But Elena and the others knew this was just the beginning. The enemy would return, stronger and better prepared. Yet for the first time since discovering their true nature, she felt real hope. Humanity wasn't just wielding the weapons they'd been given. They were transcending them. "We've won this battle," she addressed the transformed humans as Mars' timeline stabilized. "But our real test is still coming. The Void Hunters will return with their full force. When they do, we need to be ready to show them something they've never seen before. Human beings who refuse to accept the limits of possibility." In the aftermath of the Martian battle, Dr. Elena Santos stood in the facility's deepest chamber, a vast space that had remained sealed until now. The walls pulsed with living light, responding to the combined presence of multiple transformed humans. Maya Patel, their youngest but perhaps most gifted member, pressed her palm against a crystalline surface that seemed to drink in light itself. "It's not just a record," Maya whispered, her consciousness merging with the ancient systems. "It's a memory. Their memory." The chamber erupted with holographic displays, but these were different from anything they'd seen before. Instead of tactical data or genetic sequences, they showed the creators themselves, beings of crystalline energy that existed in multiple probability states simultaneously. We weren't their first attempt, Elena realized, watching the history unfold around them. We were their last hope. The displays showed previous civilizations the creators had engineered, each designed to face the Void Hunters. Each had failed, not because they lacked power, but because they lacked something the creators themselves couldn't understand: the human capacity for innovation and emotional depth. Dr. Kai Chen, still adapting to his ability to manipulate fundamental forces, studied the data with growing concern. "The Void Hunters aren't just consuming reality," he observed. "They're simplifying it, reducing all possibility to a single, predictable state. That's why they fear us," Commander Chen added, his military training helping him grasp the strategic implications. "We're not just fighting their powers, we're introducing chaos into their ordered destruction." The facility's AI, speaking through Maya's connection, revealed the full scope of the Creator's plan. They hadn't just given humanity powers, they had encoded their entire civilization's knowledge into human DNA, fragmented and distributed across millions of individuals. Each transformed human carried not just abilities, but pieces of the Creator's legacy. But they made a mistake, Sarah Martins noted, her quantum duplicates speaking in harmony. They thought they were programming weapons, but they gave us choice instead. Elena watched as the holographic history reached its conclusion, the Creator's final moments as they faced the Void Hunters. Instead of fighting to the end, they had poured everything they were into their last creation, humanity, not as servants or soldiers, but as inheritors. The genetic markers, Dr. James Wilson realized, analyzing new data streams, they're not just activation switches. They're keys, unlocking different aspects of the Creator's knowledge. Each transformed human isn't just gaining powers, they're receiving the unique piece of their legacy. Maya's eyes widened as she accessed deeper levels of the facility's memory. "There's more," she announced, her voice carrying strange harmonics. "The Creators didn't just give us their knowledge. They gave us the potential to surpass them." The chamber shifted, revealing new information that changed everything they thought they knew. The Creators hadn't designed humanity to win a war. They had designed them to evolve beyond the very concept of warfare. Each power they'd been given was meant to be a seed, growing into something the Creators themselves couldn't imagine. "Look at how we're already using these abilities," Elena observed, projecting probability streams that showed the infinite variations of their potential. "We're not just combining powers, we're creating entirely new possibilities." The facility's systems pulsed with recognition, responding to their growing understanding. Through Maya's connection, they learned the Creator's true hope, that humanity would become not the winners of an ancient conflict, but the architects of a new reality. Commander Chen, ever practical, focused on the immediate implications. "The Void Hunters will return," he reminded them. "And next time, they'll bring their full force." "Let them come," Elena responded, but her voice held no bravado. Instead, it carried the weight of newfound purpose. "We're not just fighting to survive anymore. We're fighting to become something new." Sarah's quantum duplicates synchronized, each one perceiving different probability streams. "They expect us to use these powers as weapons," she said, her multiple voices creating complex harmonies. "But we're going to show them something they've never seen before." The facility's deeper chambers began to activate, responding to their evolved understanding. Systems that had laid dormant for millions of years awakened, recognizing in humanity something even the Creators hadn't fully anticipated, the capacity to transform not just themselves, but reality itself. "The Creators gave us their legacy," Elena addressed the gathered transformed humans, "but they also gave us freedom to choose what to do with it. We're not bound by their plans or their limitations." As if in response to her words, the facility's systems revealed one final secret, a projection of possible futures that even the Creators hadn't dared to imagine. In these futures, humanity didn't just defeat the Void Hunters. They transformed them, introducing chaos and choice into their ordered existence. "That's why we were made so different from them," Maya realized, her young mind grasping implications that spanned millions of years. Not to destroy them, but to change them, to show them another way to exist. The transformed human, Captain Sarah Martinez's quantum duplicates synchronized across probability spaces, while Dr. Kai Chen's mastery over fundamental forces had grown to encompass principles the Creators had never imagined. Each transformed human had taken their given abilities and transformed them into something new. The Void Hunters struck first, their ships beginning the process of probability collapse. Reality started to unravel around Earth, timelines folding in on themselves as the enemy attempted to reduce all possibility to a single, empty state. But humanity's response wasn't what they expected. Instead of fighting directly, the transformed humans began to implement a strategy that defied conventional physics. Elena, drawing on her ability to manipulate probability, didn't try to stop the collapse. She redirected it. "Now," she commanded, and the transformed humans acted as one. Sarah's duplicates spread across probability space, creating anchor points that stabilized reality in new configurations. Kai's manipulation of fundamental forces didn't just resist the void, it transformed it. The facility's systems, responding to Maya's deepened connection, revealed their final purpose. The creators hadn't just designed humanity to fight. They had designed them to introduce something new into the universe. True choice, true change, true evolution. As the battle reached its peak, Alina realized the truth that even the creators hadn't fully grasped. "We're not here to destroy the void," she broadcast to all transformed humans. "We're here to transform it." The transformed humans began to combine their abilities in ways that transcended their original design. Instead of simply stabilizing probability streams, they began to create new ones. Where the Void Hunters sought to collapse reality, humanity expanded it. Maya, pushing her connection to its limits, accessed the deepest layers of the Creator's legacy. They weren't just fighting against entropy, she revealed, her voice carrying ancient understanding. They were fighting against the fear of change itself. The Void Hunters, faced with something they had never encountered, began to show signs of confusion. Their ordered assault faltered as humanity introduced chaos into their perfectly planned destruction. Each transformed human added their unique perspective to the battle, creating possibilities that defied the very nature of reality. In orbit, Sarah's quantum duplicates didn't just exist in multiple states. They began to generate new states of existence. Kai's manipulation of forces created spaces where the laws of physics themselves evolved. Every transformed human contributed to a transformation that encompassed not just Earth, but the very nature of reality itself. "They want to reduce everything to simplicity," Alina declared, watching as probability streams multiplied around them. "But we're going to show them the beauty of complexity." The Void Hunters' attack reached its crescendo, their combined power attempting to collapse all of Earth's timelines into nothingness. But instead of resistance, they found transformation. The transformed humans, acting in perfect harmony yet maintaining their individual creativity, didn't just defend reality, they expanded it. Where the void sought to eliminate possibility, humanity created new ones. Where entropy threatened to simplify existence, human creativity introduced infinite complexity. The battle wasn't just for survival anymore, it was for the very nature of reality itself. The facility's systems, responding to their evolved understanding, began to transform as well. The Creator's final legacy wasn't the powers they had given humanity, it was the freedom to grow beyond them. As the Void Hunters' assault faltered, something unprecedented began to happen. Their perfectly ordered existence, confronted with humanity's chaos and creativity, began to change. The void itself, touched by human potential, started to transform. "They're not just retreating," Maya observed, her consciousness touching the edges of the void. "They're evolving." The transformed humans watched as their enemy, designed to reduce all possibility to nothingness, encountered something stronger than any weapon. The human capacity for change, for growth, for hope. In the battle's final moments, Alina understood what the Creators had truly designed humanity to be, not the end of evolution, but its next beginning. The Void Hunters, faced with an enemy that refused to be simplified, that insisted on growing more complex, began to transform themselves. The ancient facility, its purpose finally fulfilled, began to change as well. Its crystalline surfaces flowed like liquid light, reshaping into something new. Not a weapon cache, but a cradle for what humanity would become. "The Creators made us as weapons," Alina addressed her fellow transformed, watching as reality itself evolved around them. "But we chose to become creators ourselves." Above Earth, the void began to retreat, but not in defeat. Where there had been emptiness, new possibilities began to form. The Void Hunters, touched by human chaos and creativity, started their own transformation. The war was over, not through destruction, but through evolution. Humanity had faced its greatest test, not by fighting, but by becoming something more. Architects of a new reality where even the void itself could learn to grow, to change, to live. The transformed humans stood in the ancient facility, their powers now evolved far beyond their original design. They had been created as weapons, but had chosen to become something more. Pioneers of a new age where the very nature of reality itself was open to change, to growth, to endless possibility. The Creator's legacy was complete, but humanity's story was just beginning. They had been designed to end a war, but had chosen instead to begin a transformation that would reshape not just Earth, but the very fabric of existence itself.